Hi pals, my name is Tally. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. This is something a little bit different for me. I don't normally do videos like this, but I thought I'd give it a try. Let's talk about food. I am incapable of cooking for one person or even for two people. I just automatically cook for like a family of 10. I can't help but cook in bulk, so I quite often eat the same thing a few days in a row, and I like to mix up a little bit so I'm not just eating exactly the same meal every time. So I take like the same basic recipe and I do little tweaks so that it's a little bit different every time. So with that in mind, I challenged myself to have paella, which is one of my favourite recipes, 5 days in a row, 5 different ways. Everything I'm eating is vegetarian, and I've given you some options if you want to make it vegan as well. And if you do decide to recreate any of these recipes, you don't have to do all 5 of them in a row. You don't have to eat paella 5 days in a row. You can freeze them and do them across several weeks. And they make good lunches and dinners if you like go to work and you want to take your lunch with you. So starting off with the basic paella recipe, I basically fry up a load of vegetables, onions, I like peppers, I like mushrooms in there, peas, sweet corn. I fry them all together so that they've got a bit of colour on them, and I fry up some corn chicken. The corn chicken I use is vegetarian, not vegan, but you can get a vegan alternative, or you can just skip the corn chicken altogether and just have the veg. You basically fry everything together, then add a tin of chopped tomatoes, some vegetable stock, and then your paella rice. And they recommend on the packet that it's 75 grams of rice per portion, but I think that is very generous, so you put in as much rice as you want because it does expand when it cooks. And then you can add all your spices. So the main spice for paella is paprika, so I put a lot of paprika in. I like it quite spicy. I put some chili flakes in, some barbecue seasoning, and a little bit of Italian herbs as well as salt and pepper. And you can really play with this over like a load of different batches to see what your favourite spices are. And you don't even have to have it that spicy at all. It is a myth that all good vegetarian and vegan food is spicy. It just needs a lot of herbs. Then don't put a lid on it. You want to boil it so like all of the excess water boils off and it gets to that really nice paella texture. And then taste the rice. If it's still crunchy, put more water in and do the same thing again. And just keep repeating it, so adding more water, boiling it down, adding more water, boiling it down until the rice is cooked, and then it's ready to go. One thing to note is that you've got to be really careful when you're reheating and storing this because it is rice and there can be like a bit dodge about reheating rice. So if you are going to have this for a couple of days on a row, make sure you put it straight into a Tupperware and seal it while it's still hot so it can't get to that temperature and start growing all the bacteria. Put it straight in a Tupperware, and if you're going to freeze it, put it straight in the freezer as well. So on the first day of this challenge, I just had plain paella with some cherry tomatoes as like a little salad on the side, and it is really tasty on its own. On Tuesday, I decided to have a paella stuffed pepper. So I had half a pepper and I'd used the other half the day before in the recipe. So I scooped out all of the seeds and all the inside bits of this pepper, stuffed it full of paella, then I put it in the oven about 200 degrees, or we have a gas oven now, so gas mark 6 or 7, for about 25 minutes. And then for the last 5 minutes I put a bit of cheese on top and put it back in the oven, and then I served it with some spinach and some sriracha mayo. And if you want to make this vegan, you can skip the cheese or use vegan cheese, but I definitely recommend putting some sriracha on because that spiciness is just so good. The next day I decided to have it as a burger. I was originally going to try and like form the paella into like a patty and try and cook it that way, but then I decided to do it like sloppy joe style where you just scoop some into the burger bun. So I heated it in the microwave. I do it for about 2 minutes and then stir it, and then another minute. Again, really make sure that it's cooked through so you're not getting any nasties in there. Then I slop it in the burger bun, put some salad, some sriracha mayo of course, and I just eat it like that, and it was really tasty. On Thursday I did a kind of variation on the burger in that I made it with a wrap, so it's kind of like an enchilada. So again, I microwaved the paella mix. This kind of half of the week I'd put this stuff in the freezer, so I made sure I took them out of the freezer the night before so that they would be defrosted by the time I needed to eat them. So I took my heated up paella and then put it into a wrap which was already in a frying pan, and sprinkled loads of cheese on top. I love cheese, so a lot of cheese. Just skip this part if you're vegan again, or you could even like not enchilada it and just have a paella wrap. It might seem weird to have double carbs, like the rice and the paella as well as like the wrap or the bread the day before, but I'm all about that carb life. Then I flip it over like a pancake and just cook it until the cheese is melted and the wrap has gone a bit crispy, and then again sriracha mayo and a bit of spinach on top. I'm quite repetitive with what I like, but Hey, that's what I like. I like sriracha mayo a lot. And then on Friday, I decided to try something completely different. I wasn't sure if this was gonna work, but it was actually amazing in that I made paella soup. So I took my paella, put it in a pan. I'd actually forgotten to take this portion out of the freezer early enough, so it wasn't completely defrosted yet. So I put it into a saucepan, and then I made some vegetable stock, and I just put the stock in with the paella and boiled it until it was completely cooked. And this was, oh my god, it was amazing. It was quite watery, so it was more like a broth than a soup, but I was very impressed with it. So there you have it, 5 different ways to eat paella. I actually have loads of paella left. Like, I could have done about 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, just with that one like original batch of paella that I made. So me and Adam are going to be eating this for a little while. And I found that when I was making the recipes later on in the week, when I wasn't just having a bowl of paella, I actually used less paella. So I portioned it out into Tupperwares, so I'd have like the same amount each day, but I actually didn't use all of the paella that I had like allocated myself for the later recipes, like the burger and the soup and stuff. So I could have even put less and made this go even longer if I really wanted to. But I could never be sick of paella. Like, I literally love it. It's one of my favourite recipes. It does take a bit of a while to cook in the first place when you're originally making the batch, but then it's just so versatile and I could never get bored of it. I could just eat it all the time, and I have been eating it all the time. That's it. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know if you want me to do anything like this again, because I really enjoyed this, like setting myself a little challenge, and I can already think of some other recipes that I might want to try this with. So let me know if you're interested in this, and let me know if you have any suggestions of recipes that you use over and over again in different ways. I'd love to hear them. Thank you so much for watching. As always, please subscribe to my channel if you want to see some more of my videos, and maybe I will be doing some more foodie ones in the future. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!